Okay, welcome to GCN's Short Climbs indoor training session. It's short, it's going to be sweet, it's going to be a little bit painful, but again it's going to be some fantastic miles in the bank, all about working on your ability to ride the short, sharp climbs, the kind of climbs we see perhaps in the Tour of Flanders, over in Tuscany, or even in the Ardennes, or wherever you may be. These will help you get more efficient and far more effective out on the road. And as ever, we're going to start the session with a nice 3-minute warm-up. And I'll use that opportunity to introduce a few new faces, a couple of old faces first, if you don't mind me saying so. Cy Richardson, Lasty at the back, perpetually smiling as ever. We've got Lindsay at the front there. Juliet just at the back on the green trek, and just poking behind there we have Charlotte. All of them hopefully ready to roll. So the first part of the warm-up, nice and steady, about 90 RPM. Build yourself up, get the blood flowing, get yourself nice and warm. Opportunity to take a few sips from your bidon as well. Now a little bit about the session itself. After the 3-minute initial warm-up, we're going to move into the advanced warm-up phase just to get ourselves ready from a cardiovascular perspective for the efforts that lie in weight. There's going to be 5 intervals on the climbs. So in order to get ourselves ready for those, we're going to do 2 15-minute high cadence efforts at around a perceived effort level of 8. And we start the first one of those in just over a minute's time. So gradually throughout this initial 3 minutes, gradually pick up the pace, but don't press on too hard just yet. Again, about an effort level of 4 now, well under a minute. And so prepare yourself for this first little high intensity flourish. Don't have to go too deep, 8 out of 10, just above your functional threshold power, the amount of power you can sustain for an hour. But keep the cadence really high. 30 seconds to go. Nothing too stressful just yet, just to warm us up nicely for the 5 climbs of varying length, which I'll explain in a moment, that lie in weight. So 15 seconds. You might want to select your gear now, 10 seconds. Remember, perceived effort level of around 8, 120 RPM for 15 seconds. 2, 1, and go. Just spin those legs. Try not to rock too much on the bike. Think about your form. Should be uncomfortable, but not too much. Okay, and relax a little bit. Drop it down again to perceived effort level of 5. You should have felt that a little bit. We're going to do 1 more of those before we hit the sessions. I'll explain them now. So we're going to do 5 climbs, the first of which 1.5 minutes. And I need you to ride that as hard as you can. So it will be above your FTP, about 110%, 115% of your FTP. 2 minutes off, then 2 minutes on. So as hard as you can for 2 minutes, then 2 minutes off again, relaxing riding. Then 2.5 minutes, then 2 minutes off, then back down to 2 minutes with a 2-minute rest. And the final climb, 1.5 minutes, as hard as you can. And then thankfully, the finish line will be in sight. Okay, in 5 seconds, another high cadence interval. Here we go. Try to get up to 120. Spin the legs, but keep fully in control. And straight off the back of this, your first climb. In you go, here we go. So 1.5 minutes. This should be pretty painful. Think about yourself out on the road. Picture a climb that you know. It takes about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes to climb. And basically, ride it as hard as you can. So, in terms of effort level, it should be 10 which means the maximum power you can sustain for 1.5 minutes. You want to gear up a little bit, try and replicate the sort of cadence that you use on a climb. Again, we're all different, but quite often cadence is reduced slightly. As best we can, we want to replicate the effort we put out on the climb. Keep it going, 39 seconds. And then you'll be pleased to know 2 minutes rest. So keep it going. Think about keeping as still as you can. Nice and smooth, no wasted energy. Seconds, all the way to the crest of the first hill. And 1, okay. Knock it back down. Spin your legs, effort level of 3. So basically, virtually just turn the pedals with the weight of your legs. You've got 2 minute rest, and the next one is 2 minutes. So 30 seconds up from the previous effort. And again, very important that you do take the opportunity to really rest up between these efforts because they are brutally hard. And again, as you're pedaling along on your various trainers, we've got Elite Revos here, we've got CycleOps hammers too. Think about being in an open space. You can even close your eyes without fear of falling off. Although I won't do that, because that'd be fraught with risk. Picture yourself on a climb, even over in the Dolomites as well. 2 minute hard session on a climb, ease off, then go again. Surprisingly, doing these sessions that are above your FTP will actually help improve your FTP overall as well. So basically we're riding under and over in these sessions. But think about the next 2 minute effort. It's going to be slightly different to the one before, not just by 30 seconds. You might not be able to put the same power out for that amount of time. So although it's kind of flat out, there's a degree of pacing in there too. And make sure you're drinking as well. It's only a 25-minute session. You need all the fluids you can. Keep yourselves hydrated. Okay, so climb number 2. So flat out for 2 minutes, okay? 2 and 1, go. Pick up the pace till it really bites. And if you can, slightly lower cadence, around 80 is good. But you know yourselves more than me. And actually try and replicate the position on a bike. I know it's hard indoors. Maybe ride on the tops or on the hoods rather than the drops. Because as we know, you do ride in a different position on the climbs. Just focus on your body form, putting the power through the bike as efficiently as possible. And riding indoors is a great opportunity without any hazards to practice efficient pedaling styles. For those of you riding to FTP, there should be about 110 to 115% of your FTP. I think I'm spot on there. Around 50 seconds, keep it going, this is great. Being fantastic. Just think of how this will benefit you on the climbs, near where you live, near where you want to travel to. Okay, 20 seconds, you can see the top all the way. Don't waver. Okay, knock it down straight away. But keep pedaling, yeah? 2 minutes rest. Knock it down to about 70 RPM if you want. 3%, 3 out of 10 on your perceived effort score here. So use this time to mop your brow. Okay, remember the next one, this is a progressive session. So the next one is the longest climb, climb number 3, 2.5 minutes. So 2.5 minutes. Don't worry, you've still got a minute to go before you hit the climb. So stay focused, think about what's coming up next, think about how you're gonna ride that 2.5 minutes. Again, a completely different beast than the first session. Minute and a half, you can sustain probably 120% of your FTP. A bit difficult to do that over 2.5 minutes. So pace your ride. And these sorts of sessions are wonderful for learning about yourself and the power you can sustain for set periods of time. So not only will you get fitter, you understand yourself far more and what you can put yourself through and what you can put your body through as well. So, let's stick it back on the big one. We're going to slightly lower the cadence. We're going to go for about 80 RPM. You should be able to see that on your elements. Yeah. So coming up to the third session, okay? 2.5 minutes, as hard as you can. 2, 1, and go. Just build into it. Don't sprint into it, build into it till you feel it bite. And you know that's what you've got to try and sustain. Last is looking good, nice and smooth. Again, we all climb differently. Just try and think about how you climb out on the road and replicate it here, either on the tops or on the hoods. You all right, Si? Good lad. Lindsay. Look at Lasty's face, you gotta love it. Okay, minute 50. Again, as hard as you can, don't kid yourself, just press on, but don't go into the red. Okay. Minute 20, still to go. This is where it's really going to start to hurt. And this is where a lot of people get the pacing wrong. Just power through it. After this, you'll be well over halfway. This will really help you on those climbs. In fact, short or long, although specifically this will get you over the top of those short, punchy climbs. Seconds. Keep it going. Think about how you're riding. Smooth pedal strokes. Try not to rock. Into the last 30 seconds. This is fantastic work, guys. You're right, Charlotte at the back. Good stuff. 15. Keep it going. You can see the top now. You can see the crowd. You can see the KOM flag. Two and one. Nice. Okay. Broken the back of this session. Still some hard work to go. Use this 2 minutes really carefully. Knock it down onto the small ring. Spin the legs. Okay, back to the session. Might be an idea, I'm certainly gonna do it. Minute and 15 left. Knock it up, keep the power down. Just relax my back a little bit. You don't have to do it, it's just a little tip. You're recruiting different muscles when you're out the saddle, thus giving your glutes a bit of a rest. Also your calves as well, depending of course on the way we climb. We all climb remarkably differently, but always worth thinking about saving energy in different ways. And gently lifting yourself out the saddle, easing your back and your backside and your legs is a nice way of doing it. Just for 20 seconds or so, then back into the rhythm. Nice and easy. Still got just over 30 seconds. Remember this time, back down to 2 minutes, okay? So this is hill number 4, 2 minutes long. So you should be able to ride it just a little bit harder than the previous one. If you can, think about your pacing strategy. Don't sprint off from the start. Build it up until it bites, then hold it. Think about yourself in a local sportif, out with your mates on the road, up a climb, and the confidence you'll gain from doing this sort of training. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, 2 minutes. Just get into that rhythm and lock yourself in it, okay? Every pedal rev is getting you nearer the top. Chipping away at the cold face of pain. Think about the way you're riding, okay? Any upper body rocking is wasted energy, so try, lock yourself in. You don't need to grip the bars too hard. This is hard. Come on, guys. You all right, Juliet? Last has got a top pain face on there. Okay, minute to go. It's the penultimate climb to really make it count, guys. Come on. So riding about 110% of your functional threshold power. If you're riding to power, remember that's the power you can sustain for an hour. So this isn't the power you can sustain for an hour. Oh no. If you tried, you'd explode. Must admit, starting to tire now. 20 seconds. Come on. Fantastic riding. Think of the benefits. Think of the investment. Think how dedicated you are as well, doing this to yourself. 5, 3, and 1. Knock it back. Okay. One more to go. 1 minute 45 of spinning those legs. Take a sip. It's only a short session, but as I said before, making sure hydrated, absolutely vital. During your session, and of course before, and it goes without saying afterwards as well. Otherwise your performance will diminish rather rapidly, and the training session will be a semi-waste of time. So hydration is key, pacing strategy is key, making sure you keep the environment as cool as possible. And if you are inside like us under these lights, it's pretty warm and you might notice a fair degree of float in your heart rate between 5 and 10 beats is often the case. So it's artificially elevated. So factor that in, because there may be a bit of a discrepancy in between what you're used to putting, power you're used to putting outside compared to heart rate. So factor in about 10 beats when it's particularly warm. So we're coming up to our final hill, and you'll be glad to know it's only in a minute and a half, but because it's a minute and a half, I want to see you go harder. I want to see 120% your FTP or there or thereabouts. And actually, this isn't just a preem, this is the finish of a queen stage of a grand tour. So put yourself in there, you've got 800 meters to go, and you're in with a shout of winning. So just think about crossing the line first. And forget about the pain, you push through. So, 10 seconds, let's just lift it. Get your gear dialed in. 5 seconds. Remember, 1.5 minutes, as hard as you can. Don't sprint off, let it bite. Here we go. Final one. Build the pace up, go through the gears. Feel it bite and hold. Great work. Keep it going. Nice, smooth, even, but difficult pace. 120% your FTP. Roughly, I'm just about holding that. Less than a minute now. We've come around the final hairpin on the Falzarego climb in the Dolomites. The first time the race is finished on the top. And there's daylight in between yourselves and the rest, but they're closing. This is it. You can win if you believe. Come on. Don't let up now. Press on. Select another gear and force it through. Come on. All the way. They're closing. I can see them. Oh my God, they're drawing level. Come on. All the way. You're holding them off. You're there. Just give me a moment. Absolutely superb, guys. I went to a cinematic then, but sometimes it might sound cheesy, but visualizing is the key to just getting that extra few percent out, because that's what you need to do on the climbs. There's no hiding place. You can't sit in the bunch and wait for the sprint. You've got to go deep. So sterling work. Hopefully that helped you guys at home as well. About 2 minutes now. Let's knock it back. I think I'm going to treat myself to the little ring. Just let the weight of your legs just turn the pedals. Another great session if you're very, very time poor. Might be an idea. Just maybe get 5 or 10 minutes in, or a kind of warm up before you start the session. Otherwise it should be fine. There's no harm in warming up a bit more and warming down for a little longer if you feel the need. But so many of us haven't got enough hours in the day. You're working, you're studying, you've got family. But be strict, manage your time, incorporate a couple of sessions a week indoors. This is summer and winter, complemented with a good couple of rides a week on the road, and you're really going to start going places. It may be a shortcut in relation to time, but in terms of pain, there's no shortcuts at all. And that goes without saying. Doesn't matter what ability you are, whether you're just starting out in the sport, you want to ride your first 10 or 15 miles, or you're a pro. These are the sorts of sessions which help everybody if you wish to develop, get stronger on the climbs. Woo. 50 seconds. What do you reckon of that, guys? Thumbs up or a thumbs down? Nice one. Again, Dan Lloyd wrote this one. And again, he's not here. But there we go. I'll have a chat with them about that. Okay, just knock it down a bit now, guys. Should be well under like 100 watts. Just 30 odd seconds to go. A really great session, especially if you're going out to the Maratona and the Dolomites. I want to look at breaking those climbs down into sections. A session like this will really help on the Grand Fondos. That session hasn't put you off subscribing to GCN, but if you already haven't, you can do so for absolutely free by clicking on the globe, then you will not miss another video. Now, for another session similar to this, where we rode up the infamous Campo Longo climb in the Dolomites, click just down here, and for my Wahoo battle indoors with Team Sky, How about clicking just down here?